Wait, no.
Fantasy genre has always inspired the imagination of its readers. The use of adjectives, adverbs, and descriptive writing can be useful to teach students to become effective writers. Fantasy genre style of books or literature inspire students to not only use their imaginations, but the use of words to paint the pictures they see in their readers' minds. This genre should be highlighted in the classroom because the genre inspires creativity and passion with the individual student. Derek Smith states in the article of the Allen Review, many teens struggle with identity, parental absence, and a number of other difficult adolescent issues. For some, a book that tackles those things head on using a realistic and identifiable character is a great way with dealing those issues. High school is often a difficult time for most students as pressures from peers and parents continue to build towards graduation. The majority of students lack the necessary attention span in order to complete assignments in a timely manner. Students may have problems at home with or without parental guidance, or they may face constant ridicule from peers because of grades, lifestyle, or personal choices. Situations like these often allow the student to create different worlds, characters, and creatures beyond their imagination, and heroes with or without superhuman powers. Carlene McGowan writes in the Yale National Initiative her argument that our everyday world is at times quite predictable and mundane. Some of us dream of having magical powers or coming across a mythical beast. The supernatural is so intriguing to me. I know that many students feel the same way. This quote speaks true to many people in society who feel they need an escape from everyday pressures. Students often engage in video games and fantasy role playing to escape the weight of success within the classroom. This fantasy also allows them the opportunity to seek what they are searching for in life. Polly L. Corbata, a teacher at Gordon Elementary School, states powerfully that there can be no question that the power of these books to allure young people away from the computer and television has been a remarkable event in the world of the millennium. Books took a back seat when the video game market took off and became a billion-dollar industry. I know what you must be thinking at this moment. What does this have to do with the educational value of the fantasy genre in our educational system? Glad you asked. Johanna Hughes, a former higher education administrator and now a freelance writer, spoke to a Harvard student who told the Crimson, because science fiction takes place in unusual worlds where new things are possible, societies or situations can be set up to ask fascinating what-if questions. While these questions initially seem interesting but not necessarily useful, they can be thought experiments which argue positions on modern issues, or at least present those issues as needing to be addressed. As I looked at some of the books that these authors recommended, the books often spoke of technologies and advances that we experience today. Some of us in the world today would not know what to do without our cell phone. 30 to 40 years ago, our technology would be considered science fiction. Ask yourself this question: would we have these modern conveniences if someone had not written about it? The answer is simple. An author wrote it, A student read it, and the student invented it to make the author's vision into a reality. Cornelia Funk is the author of the Reckless book series, states in an article written for The Guardian, "In my opinion, the reality of this world and our existence in it can only be described as fantastic. The more we learn about our reality, the more we realize that we don't understand it at all." Children find courage throughout role play and fantasy books. Like children, I found that my fear was a mighty dragon, and I was in the knight in armor that would defeat the dragon. Translated into reality means that I can face anything without fear of failure. So, here's my final thoughts on the educational value of the fantasy genre. Fantasy books are needed to inspire the creativity and the passion within the student body as a whole. These books allow for imaginations to freely run, allowing for an escape from the everyday grind. And it also keeps children off video games, if believe it or not. The genre inspires courage, challenges young people to think outside of the box, and in conclusion, fantasy literature should be mandatory for all students at every level to keep them not only engaged, but challenged and to teach those valuable life lessons. When was the last time that you got away? Or felt challenged? Or the need to invent something? Well, maybe you should try reading a fantasy book from time to time. Never know.